From IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, this is your report from Washington. There are 46 days left until the presidential election. Trump shifted his campaign from law and order to cultural issues on Thursday in Wisconsin. Trump called for a statute to ban the burning of American flags in protest, criticized sports players and leagues for allowing demonstrations against racial inequality, and criticized the New York Times for its 1619 project. Trump said, for many years now, the radicals have mistaken American silence for weakness, but they are wrong. Continuing, Trump announced, quote, we're launching a new pro-American lesson plan for students called 1776 Commission. We're going to teach our children the truth about America, end quote. Joe Biden on Thursday went after Donald Trump again and again and again over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, calling Trump's downplaying of the pandemic, quote, criminal, and his administration as, quote, totally irresponsible. Biden said, quote, you've got to level with the American people. The president should step down, end quote. Biden, pressing his attacks, stated, quote, he knew it and did nothing. It's close to criminal, end quote. On everything else, the Trump and Biden campaign just disagree. Both candidates will be in Minnesota today. But now we need to shift our focus because the campaigns have shifted to the voting process and courtrooms. Lawsuits have taken center stage around the country. A federal judge in Oklahoma ruled that the state's election law was reasonable over Democratic objections. In Alaska, the state is seeking a review by the Supreme Court in its ballot lawsuit controversy. In Pennsylvania, a court ordered the Green Party candidate off the ballot. In Mississippi, the state's ballot rules have been changed midstream and will be challenged in court. In Iowa, the Supreme Court refused to hear lower court rulings that invalidated over 80,000 absentee ballot requests. In Arizona, a federal judge denied a request by the Trump campaign to join a lawsuit filed by the Navajo Indians. In Kentucky, over 320,000 requests for absentee ballots have been received so far. In South Carolina, the governor signed into law new election rules, changing the election procedures midstream. In Michigan, the appeals court ruled that it was legal for the Secretary of State to mail unsolicited absentee applications to all registered voters. In Louisiana, a federal judge ruled that the state must revert to the emergency pandemic procedures for voting rather than a more restrictive proposal put forward by the Republicans. And in the biggest ruling so far, a federal judge in Washington state issued a ruling blocking controversial changes in the U.S. Post Office that has slowed mail delivery across the nation, writing that the moves were, quote, a politically motivated attack on the efficiency of the Postal Service. There you have it. In a sign of the times, the Post Office has been officially ruled efficient. In the past, the Post Office has only achieved awards for being effective. In other news, Britain imposed tougher restrictions Thursday on people and businesses in parts of northeastern England, ordering leisure and entertainment values to close from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So much for a late-night dish of fish and chips. Under America Flatlining, there has been no movement on either a continuing resolution to fund the government or a COVID relief package to fund the American people. Rosh Hashanah, which marks the Jewish year, begins today. It is a celebration of renewal. If you don't celebrate Rosh Hashanah, then consider it a spa day. Monday is International Peace Day, and activities will be broadcast exclusively here on IBM TV. So join us as we reflect on our world and our future. Finally, the current COVID death toll from Johns Hopkins University is over 197,644 American souls lost and 946,490 global souls lost with no end in sight. That is your report for this day, September 18th, 2020, from IBM TV. International Broadcast Media, smart television for a smarter global community, from dictatorships to democracies around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'm Bill Trezevant.